Hello everyone. For those of you who are returning to my channel, welcome back. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Ron Heiler. I am the host of the various gaming series that we've got going on right now. I'm going to quickly go over the schedule as I do every month to let you guys know which games are going to be posted on which days. And the reason I do this, of course, is because I have 5 games going. I post 3 times a week. So it's a little bit maybe confusing to know when the particular series you're interested in might go up. For example, if you're only interested in Skyrim, it's not so easy at this point to tell what days the Skyrim videos are going to go up. So I do these every month just to let people know those little details. So we'll quickly go over. There's no new games this month. We're pretty much in a status quo kind of pattern right now because I'm nowhere near to finishing any of the games that I've got going. So currently we've got Dungeons & Dragons Online, so I'm going to post this video on the 26th of February. So on the day that I post this tomorrow, I will be posting a couple of Dungeons & Dragons Online videos. I usually do 2 of them because they tend, not always, but they tend to run about half an hour a piece. That varies by quite a bit. So I do 2 of them because I usually try to do about an hour's worth of videos for each posting. Now, that could change if the particular adventure that I'm doing is super long and happens to be an hour long. Then I may only do 1 of them. Or it has even occasionally been the case where I would do more than 2 if they're super short. But anyway, there's one going up on the 27th, and we're going to have one set going up on this is going to be March 10th, and then on the 22nd as well. The next series we got going is the cooperative series with the almighty Jeff, aka Michael, who we've got like I say, we got a co-op series going, so that's going to go up on March 1st, and we're going to put another one up on the 13th, and then again on the 24th. The next series in the group is Mad Max. We'll have one of those on the 3rd, on the 15th, and then on the 27th. Okay, so about 3 episodes per month for these, it looks like. Skyrim, which is probably my most popular series at the moment. Episode 22 will next go up on the 6th. And then on the 17th, and then again on the 29th. And then my personal favorite, although based on the number of views it gets, it's not everybody's personal favorite. My personal favorite series right now, BioShock, is going to go up on the 8th, the 20th, and the 31st. Okay, so that'll be the schedule for March. Okay. So if that's all you're interested in, you can stop the video here. I'm not going to go through any other video details. I'm going to use this platform while I have it just for a minute. I don't want this to be too long, but I do want to talk about my partner in crimes channel for a minute and why I think it's important that you guys go over there. Michael Hilliard, also known as the Almighty Jeff. Do go over there, you guys, and check out his stuff. And let me tell you why. So I'm going to try to keep this kind of short. I have it kind of mentally mapped out in my head what I want to say, but that tends to change when I'm actually recording. So what I want to talk about here is kind of how YouTube works and what it takes to be a content creator on YouTube, and why it is really critical that you subscribe to channels, especially for new channels that you like. It's really critical. I mean, you hear it all the time when content creators do their stuff. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me likes and that kind of thing. And you hear it so often that it just kind of goes over your head, but it's really important. It really is critical. And let me tell you why. Okay. First of all, let's talk about what it takes to be a YouTube creator. First and foremost, guys, you have to love the creative process. If you're coming into YouTube and you're doing this because you think, well, I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to become rich and famous, you're doomed. You're absolutely doomed. It does happen occasionally. We all know PewDiePie, right? You can probably name a handful of YouTubers that you just know their names. I can name a few, probably different than the ones you guys would know, but everybody knows PewDiePie, Smosh, H3H3 maybe. These are the guys who have made it. Now, the thing of it is, it does happen, but it's really rare. It's exactly analogous to like going into a rock band, and this is something I can speak to from experience because I was in a rock band for a long time. I was the drummer in a band. If you go into a rock band because you want to become rich and famous, and you're not really there for the music, you're doomed. You're absolutely doomed. You have to love what you do, because the vast majority of rock bands, the people in them are not going to become rich and famous. We certainly never did, and you got to be there because you love it. That's the only thing I can say. You're going to spend way more money than you're ever going to make, most of you, in a band. I certainly did. Far, far more than I ever made in the band. I think I was once asked by somebody that I didn't know for an autograph, and that was just after a show, so that doesn't really count. It's just not going to happen, right? For the vast majority. You have to be, in order to become rich and famous at music and like I said, it's exactly analogous to YouTube. You have to be, one, really, really good. If you're not really, really good, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay. It's just not going to happen. And two, you have to be really, really lucky. It's like winning the lottery, guys. I've seen plenty of really, really good bands that could easily have been on the radio, but they were still playing to 30 and 40 people audiences. So, you can't be going into it thinking you're going to get rich doing this. You got to love it. It's got to be something you do because you enjoy it. And there's a lot of effort involved. There's a lot of effort involved in YouTube. I think a lot of people think, if you've never done this before, that, you throw up a video. How hard can that be? Let me tell you guys, this is a lot of work. It's, I think I've mapped this out a few times, and what it comes down to is, for every hour of video that I put up, it takes me about 4 hours to put that video together. And I can break that down for you guys. I mean, so for an hour-long video, it's going to take anywhere from maybe an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half, typically, to record that video, to get an hour's worth of footage that you can use. Occasionally, it'll take 2 or 3 hours if you have a particularly bad day. If you're doing a gaming video and you really suck that day, you could end up recording a lot of material that you end up just having to cut out. But an hour and 15 minutes is kind of a minimum for an hour-long video. And then, so you've recorded it, and then I spend a bit of time. It only takes a few minutes, but I spend a bit of time working on the audio, especially my vocal audio, to bring that out and make it sound better. And then after that, you load the video into my editing package. Now, that doesn't really count towards the time limit, because I can start that process and then I can walk away and just let that go. Or I can do something else on the computer. I can even work on another video while that's happening. So I don't really count that as part of the 4-hour kind of deal, but it does take about to do an hour long, or something that's an hour to an hour and a half long in raw footage will take about half that time, about half an hour, 45 minutes to load into the editing software. And then you actually edit it. Editing is it's variable, right? So it can take you anywhere. So if I have an hour and a half worth of footage, if I happen to know there's a section that I'm going to take out, like a 10-minute section that I know is garbage, that just needs to come out, I don't have to watch through that whole section. I can just cut that out. So that just takes a minute for something like that. But then again, you can have a 10-minute section that has to be heavily edited, and I have to watch it several times. So that 10-minute section could take me 20, 30 minutes to do, right? So it's very variable, but on average, it probably is about a 1-to-1 relationship between the length of the raw footage and the amount of time it takes. So an hour and a half worth of raw footage will take me about an hour and a half to edit, just as a rule of thumb. Then you encode. That's the same kind of deal as loading, because I can start the encoding and then just walk away. I don't have to sit there and watch it encode. It takes about... so after you've edited, you've probably edited down to about an hour, and it'll take about half an hour for that to encode into something that is suitable for YouTube. And then the next part of that process is I actually do a final review of the video, which I watch the entire video start to finish just to make sure it encoded properly, that I didn't make any mistakes in editing, because sometimes that does happen. Everything is fine. I don't need to go back for any reason. So of course that takes the amount of time that the video is. If it's an hour-long video, it takes me an hour. So, and then of course you post it, and that just takes a few minutes to actually get that started. And again, the length of that process is actually longer than the video itself, given my crappy internet connection. It usually takes about an hour and a half to upload an hour-long video, something like that. But again, I don't have to sit there and watch that happen. I can do that. And I usually actually do that just before I leave for work, and then I just let it go while I'm at work. So yeah, I mean, altogether, if you add all that up, it's about a 4-hour process to do a 1-hour video. And I do 3 hours approximately per week. So that takes about 12 hours or so to put together my set of videos. So it's a lot of work. So what I'm getting down to is it's a ton of work. Now, if you don't have subscribers and not a lot of people are watching your videos, or nobody's watching your videos, and no matter how much you love that process, there will come a point where you're going to start questioning, why am I spending all this time doing this? What's the point of me doing this? I'm spending 12 hours a week putting together these videos and posting them, and nobody's watching them. And even for a hobby, you need some kind of feedback, right? Even if it's just something you're just doing it because you love it. You're not expecting to get rich or famous, but you're just doing it because you love it. You need somebody to be on the other end going, hey, this is cool. I like doing this. Otherwise, you're going to give up. I'll let you guys in on a little behind the scenes thing. There was a period during probably about the end of the first year of my channel when I had something like 20 to 30 subs, something like that. It was something really low, ridiculously low. And there was a point where I reached that kind of feeling like, why am I bothering to do this? I'm going to give up on it. If I just want to play games, I can play games way faster than I can actually play them if I'm having to record them and post them every time, And to be honest, actually, I had this conversation with Michael around that time, and I very nearly said, you know what, I'm going to shut it down. And he really did talk me off the ledge on that one. I think without meaning to. I mean, he was very kind of, well, do what you want. It's your videos, it's your thing. But he, without really meaning to, convinced me to keep going. And luckily I worked through that and built it up to the huge numbers of subscribers that I have today. I'm being sarcastic about that. I don't have huge numbers of subscribers. But certainly to a point now where I feel like they're being watched and it's worth it, right? So yeah, I'm spending too much time on this particular subject, but yeah, I think every new YouTuber gets to that point at some point where it gets to be a thing where you're putting in all this work and nobody's seeing it. And it's like, why am I doing this? So yeah. So let me go on to the next subject in my head, which is kind of the how YouTube works. At the time that I'm recording this, there are approximately 12 million what are called YouTube partner channels, which are channels which are registered with YouTube in order to be monetized. You can make money off your videos. I think you can post, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but I think you can post to YouTube without being registered, but you can't make any money unless you're registered. So right now there's about 12 million. YouTube really can't support 12 million. What I mean by support is, so you guys know that at the end of, if you finish watching a video, depending on how your settings are, at the end of it, there's a screen that pops up that has like 9 or 12 videos that are suggestions, that YouTube says, hey, if you like this video, go watch one of these videos, right? They might also pop up on the right side of your screen when you're watching playlists, a whole list of videos along the right side that are suggested videos. That's how YouTube supports its content creators. Now, a lot of times those suggestions will be from your subscription list. Probably about half of them will be from your subscription list. The other half will be just kind of random videos that are sort of in the same vein as stuff that you've looked at before, or the thing that you just looked at. But here's the thing about how YouTube works. So like I said, there's about 12 million channels. They can't support that many channels on their little suggestion feeds. So the cutoff for what they support and what they don't support is about 100 subscribers. At the point at which you hit 100 subscribers, you are at about, so if it goes from 12 million at the very bottom to the number one person, who is PewDiePie, up at the top, who's on the number one rung on the ladder. When you hit 100 subscribers, you're at about the 6 million point. You're about halfway up that ladder. So those half below that, YouTube really doesn't support. You will rarely, if ever, see their videos pop up on those little suggestion lists. Okay, unless you're subscribed to them. If you're subscribed to them, that's different. But then you already know about them if you're subscribed to them, so it doesn't really help the channel. They don't pop in. Okay, and that's not to say that's bad. I totally understand that from YouTube's point of view. They've got to have a cutoff point somewhere. I mean, you can't put the contents of 12 million channels onto everyone's suggestion feed. So they want you to prove yourself to get to that 100 sub level, or about halfway up that ladder, before they will start really supporting your channel. Once you hit about 100 subs, your feed will start to appear on people's suggestion lists, and not very much. Don't get me wrong, YouTube is a business, and they have to support their huge money makers more than anybody else, right? So the bigger channel you are, the more you're going to get supported. That's what I'm saying. But it's the 100 sub level is where it starts. Okay, that's when they start supporting you. Beyond that, there's another milestone right around 1,000 subs, where the support, and at 1,000 subs, you're sitting right about the 2 million range, maybe a little less, somewhere between 1 and 2 million. That's when the support really starts to ramp up. Okay, at the point at which you hit 1,000 subs, if you're doing quality content, your channel is going to be more or less self-sufficient. It'll be self-generating subs, which is to say that your feed will pop up on enough people's random suggestion list that you will gain as many subs as you lose, because you're always gaining and losing subs. Okay, so without even having to do much more than that, put up quality content, that's the point at which you'll be okay. You'll gain subs faster than you'll lose them. So those two milestones, the 100 and the 1,000, those are the big ones for the YouTube people, and that's why it's important, especially for small channels, to subscribe if you want those channels to stick around, because you don't want your YouTube content creators to hit that point where they're going, why am I doing this, and disappear. And a lot of them do that. I mean, a lot of them do that. So when you see a channel that you like, especially if it's a low sub channel, subscribe to them, because it really, really does help them out. I mean, every one of those subscriptions, pushing them towards 100 is very important to that YouTube creator. I think once you get past that 1,000 mark, it almost becomes not less important. I think all YouTube content creators appreciate all their subs. But it's critical for those people who are under 100. It is absolutely critical. So, which brings me to the almighty Jeff's channel. He is, like I say, he is my partner in crime. His channel, he started before I did with another channel, got almost to 100 subs, and then decided to start over, just because he wasn't happy with the content of his recordings. He upped the quality quite a bit, but he did start over. And because there's no support from YouTube below 100 subs, it is a real struggle to get subs. So I really do try to push people over there. Do go check out his channel, and if you like it, subscribe to it. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should subscribe to a channel that you don't like. If you go over there and you look at his stuff and you don't like it, fair enough. Don't subscribe. But if you like it and you want him to stick around to make more content like that, subscribe to his channel. Even if you don't ever watch, subscribe. It is absolutely critical. Okay. His stuff is good. I mean, I feel like I do some pretty high quality videos myself. I do realize it's a bit of a niche market in that, not everybody's into the hyper completionist series like I am. Michael is the same mentality. He's hyper completionist, probably even more than I am. His videos are somewhat shorter than mine. I think he keeps them to about 30 minutes or so. I don't think that. I know that. He keeps them to about 30 minutes. He posts 5 days a week as opposed to my 3 days a week. So he's doing about 2.5 hours a week of video. And it's the first thing I watch. My typical routine is I get up, I get ready for work, and then I usually have about 30 or 45 minutes before I have to leave for work. And that's what I do in that 30 to 45 minutes. I watch the video that he posts that day. He usually has them up first thing in the morning, my time, and so I can sit there and watch them before I leave for work. And I do. I watch those every day. And guys, one thing about me is I do not like videos unless I actually like the video. I don't push that like button unless I like them. 90% of my like videos are his videos. It's really, in my opinion, very high quality stuff, and yet he's sitting at something like 28 subscriptions. So, and that's a testimony to the fact that he's getting no support from YouTube. He's got these really high quality, really nice videos up, and he's having trouble getting people to watch them. So I do really, really recommend you go over there, check out his stuff. It's great stuff. And if you like it, subscribe to his channel. It's really, I would appreciate it. I'm sure he would appreciate it a lot. And you'll keep a YouTuber around who really deserves to stick around and keeps that high quality content coming. Because I think, I've seen a lot of content on YouTube. As this has become one of my primary hobbies, I've watched a fair amount, and I think the stuff that I do and I think the stuff that he does is heads above the quality of the vast majority of what's on YouTube as far as Let's Play videos go. I don't mean to belittle other Let's Play videos, but quite honestly, for a lot of the stuff that I see, I really don't like. I'm really not that impressed with. Whereas his stuff, I look forward to every day, watching what he does, and I really would like to see it continue. So anyway, I've rambled on way too long, so I will shut this down. But go over there. The link will be in my description, and check it out, and see what you think. If you like, subscribe. Okay, I will talk to you guys next month. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time.